start my welcome address. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As a part of celebration of 75th year of independence, our Honorable Prime Minister initiated this program being conducted by various ministries of Government of India. As per the above initiative, Department of Science and Technology has been catalyzing the organization of program called Vigyan Utsav in association with all the state councils of science and technology spread throughout the country. As you are aware, Vigyan Utsav is being organized in several themes from September 2021 to August 2022. This is the eighth one in the series of programs being organized by the Council as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Vigyan Utsav under the aegis of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India on the theme Science and Society. On behalf of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, I am happy to welcome the dignitaries, officials, especially scientists from DST, Dr. Dept, advisor, Dr. Rashmi Sharma, scientist F, Dr. Ravikant Paranjwai, other scientists, researchers, and participants for this program from various educational and research institutions from our state and from other states. I welcome Dr. T. Ramaswamy, former Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, who will be making inaugural address on the theme Science and Society. It is appropriate that a former Secretary to Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, is inaugurating this important virtual meeting. The contributions made by Dr. T. Ramaswamy as Secretary to DST, Government of India, are very well known and important for the DST as well as taking the benefit of science and technology to the people of our country, particularly students, researchers, industry, and the societal sector. Because he has been instrumental for organizing the Inspire program throughout our country, that also is flourishing well, not only for the younger students, but also for the leading scientists and for the development of our Indian nation. I welcome Dr. Vaidek Vijay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal, who will be giving a presentation on the contribution made by Mother Teresa Women's University to science and society through women education and development. I also welcome Dr. Mangala Sundar Krishnan, Professor and Head Department of Chemistry, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Chennai, who is going to presentation on IIT contribution to science and engineering online education to the society. I welcome Dr. J. Venkata Prabhu, Director, Planning and Monitoring, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, who will be making a presentation on societal equity and inclusion, gender disparity, mainstreaming, and equity in the agriculture sector. I welcome Dr. A.V. Om Prakash, Director, Tamil Nadu Veterinary and Animal Sciences University, Chennai, who will be making a presentation on contribution of canvas for veterinary science and societal development. The council being an autonomous body functioning under the Department of Higher Education, Government of Tamil Nadu, is playing an important role to lead, catalyze, direct, and conduct research programs in all areas of science and technology, including indigenous technology, utilizing the excellent infrastructure and manpower facilities available with our state, academic, and research institutions. For this purpose, the Council is implementing a total of 15 S&D programs aimed at research and development, development of scientific manpower, and taking the benefits of science and technology to various sections of the society, including scientists, researchers, industry, farmers, self-help group members, women, and others. In all the schemes, the Council care has been taken to ensure that women are provided with equal opportunity. For example, in student scientists program, one of the guidelines provided by the Council is to select 50% of the participants from girl students. Likewise, wherever it is possible, we have ensured equity for women. With respect to science and society, the schemes of the Council such as Young Student Scientist Program of the Council encourages science education and exposes students to the science and research. Young Student Fellowship Scheme enables our scientists to equip themselves in topical areas of research. Tamil Nadu Scientist Award recognizes the contribution of our state scientists to our society. Dissemination of innovation technology enables various stakeholders of our society such as farmers, women, self-help group members and others to absorb technologies for the skill upgradation of livelihood improvement. Very recently, we have conducted 19 programs throughout our Tamil Nadu. Nearly some 250 members benefited out of that. SC/ST cell of the council empowers the marginalized sections of the society through science and technology input. Popularization of science schemes strives to take the science to the society through awareness program, exhibition, etc. Assistance to science and technology publications enables publications in Tamil. Through teacher training programs, the council trains the school teachers in the latest topics in science so that the benefit pass to the society. This year, we are going to conduct 20 programs in 20 different districts. Nearly 1,000 teachers will be trained and well-versed with their technical knowledge. S&D capacity building programs of the councils caters to the industrial needs of the society. Here also, nearly some 600 students from 15 districts are encouraged for this particular program. Science concept and the importance of mathematics are important to the society during the celebration of National Science Day and the National Mathematics Day. I think now want of time, I just skipping my PowerPoint presentation. It will be taken up later. In this meeting, we have tried showcasing the contribution of our state institutions towards science and society through education, research and extension activities. We will be hearing about science and society from scientists and researchers from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Mother Teresa Women's University, Indian Institute of Science and Technology, Madras, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Tamil Nadu Veterinary and Animal Sciences. I am sure that all the participants will be thrilled to hear from the experts about how our state scientists and institutions have contributed for enabling success in science and society for various stakeholders and also about empowering various sections of the society through S&D inputs. The need of the hour is to understand the requirement of various sections of the society, promote and deploy science and technology inputs for the betterment of the society, remove poverty, inequality and myths in our society, ensure access to good quality air, water and land resources and ultimately provide better quality of life. Overall, devise methods and means for equitable inclusion of all the sections of the society to enjoy the benefits, science and technology so that we are able to harness the power of science and technology for the benefit of our state and the country. I welcome once again all the dignitaries and all the participants for benefit of this particular webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your kind welcome address and setting the tone for the meeting with elaborate remarks on science and society. Now it is my pleasant duty to introduce the eminent speaker is with us, Dr. T. Ramasamy, former Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. Served as a Secretary from 2006 to 2014 in Government of India in the capacity of Secretary DST, and currently he is the Professor of Eminence at Anna University, Chennai. Been with CLRI, Central Leather Research Institute, as a scientist and a director for almost 22 years of service, and served as in various capacities. Renowned for his leadership contributions in the leather research and strengthening science and technology and innovation landscape in this country, improving the environmental preparedness of leather industry in the country, as well as increasing public investments into research and development in India, played a very important role in these areas. Some of the programs initiated by Professor T. Ramasamy are Inspire, PERTS, Curie, and many others who have proved as game changers. He was instrumental in the formulation of Science, Technology and Innovation Policy 2013 by the Government of India, which directed and channelized the resources of this country for the development of science and technology sector. He has contributed more than 237 scientific publications and 8 chapters in books, has 41 patents to this credit, and development of process know-hows in various scientific research areas. Is the winner of more than 65 awards, which include Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize for Chemical Sciences in the year 1993 and the Civilian Honours, Padma Shri in 2001 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. He is an elected fellow of Indian National Science Academy, Indian Academy of Sciences, Indian National Academy of Sciences in India, and Indian National Academy of Engineers, the World Academy of Sciences, and there are so many other organizations. So it is my pleasant duty to welcome Professor T. Ramasamy. It is a great pleasure that we are having such a tall personality among us, and it is so we are thrilled to hear about his thoughts on science and society. Please, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, and very good morning to all of you. I will first apologize for this delay in the process. In spite of very best attempts, I think we realize that technology has its own mind, and people have subject to those mindedness of technology. I am very grateful to my mother body, Department of Science and Technology, and the Tamil Nadu Council, and Srinivasan for giving me an opportunity to be part of this wonderful celebration of the 75th year of independence of this country. Of course, the title Science and Society has come from my former department, and Devapriya must be very happy that there's a session of this nature. Very good morning to all of you. Let me share with you in a short period of time. Okay. You see, this conversation that I propose to do is not look at science as a vertical which goes into society. Science is a form of formulated knowledge, and there are several streams of knowledge. Society is the aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community involving in persistent social interactions. They share the same spatial and social territory, subject to the same political authority, and of course connected by a dominant cultural expectations. Every society has its own cultural expectations. Therefore, if you present a Venn diagram, you will see science as a rational knowledge. We look at Vigyan as a both rational and intuitive knowledge. But science that we know today in the Western world is a part of the rational knowledge, and it has to be part of the social society systems and works within its own cultural expectations of what science needs to do for society. And if you look at the science and the public engagements, you will see the public engagement with science has is promoting our scientific temper in social interactions. What we, as we celebrate the 75th year of our independence, can be proud of the fact that India is the one and the first country for explicitly to adopt scientific temper in our constitution. Article 51A was added, the fundamental duties that states it shall be the duty of every citizen to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of inquiry and reform. People like me ask the question, why is it that India observed in the constitutional responsibility the scientific temper? But the seeds of the concept of scientific temper are actually sown by Lord Buddha himself in our society. Therefore, we have a tradition. Now, promoting scientific temper in social interactions is a content of the Constitution of India, delivering citizens' constitutional duty as a sign of a scientific temper, public understanding of science in matters of national economic development, in making rational choices of new knowledge, because science is about today rational knowledge. Making rational choices of new knowledge is an important issue. So public good value of science in raising standard of living, increasing developmental choices to people, And then in a country like India, divided by several differences in the components, the science for addressing social challenges in bridging the divides and for enhanced social equity. The reason why we have adopted the scientific temper in our constitutional responsibility is that we are a society divided by many aspects. And what connects is a cultural expectation, science is rationality. And that's the reason why the unity and diversity principle requires science as a part of our constitutional duty. And we can see in human healthcare and basic needs. And having celebrated the 75th year, we can ask the question, has the footprint of modern science been in Indian society in recent times? If you ask a common citizen and ask the question, how do they relate science to their life? They will say, oh, we have space. We have so many satellites. The major power in space exploration and remote sensing. They will say, oh, we have atom bomb. We have self-reliance in defense, atomic energy. In atomic energy, we are the first nation in the world talked about closing the nuclear fuel cycle in 1954, our self-reliance in power generation. These are in the strategic sector. Then ask the question, the common man, how do they relate their life to modern science? So answers will become nondescript. In a human health fair, in fact, they don't realize at the time of independence, life expectancy of the earth of an Indian was under 25. Now today is 70 since independence. That has changed, and that's a question, of course, healthcare and the question of antibiotics and healthcare system. That's a contribution of science. Of course, this question of this question of life expectancy through antibiotics was happening even in other parts of the world. Today, major producer of vaccines and generic drugs for the world is India. 66% of the children vaccines are produced in this country. Green Revolution, at a particular in 60s, 35 million tons of food grains were produced. It was having a problem. Today, 290 million tons and able to feed 140 crore people and even export products. More than 85% of the consumer needs of India are met by indigenous production through industrial use of science. And that's what has happened in Indian non-strategic sector. When you look at this science policies, there are, if you look at the policy research, they will talk about three kinds of things. Last century, in 20th century, people used called social contract metaphor. Then came a time called triple helix model. The 21st century policy imperatives is responsible innovations. It turns out the 2013 policy of India had built all the three in one. Therefore, there is a component of social contract metaphor, which says promote spread of scientific temper among all sections of society, enhance skills for application of science among young people from all social sectors, link science research to the economic growth, and combine priorities of relevance and excellence. Triple helix model talks about university, industry, government interactions. You would see the 2013 policy will talk about the enabled conversion of R&D output societal and commercial applications by replicating hitherto to successful models and establish PPP structures. Create an environment for enhanced private sector participation through R&D industry government interactions. And even before many other nations talked about responsible innovations, so trigger value systems that recognize respect and reward performances which create wealth from S&T derived knowledge, and responsible innovation is a science policy imperative. The science policy does engross them. I have been talking about science and somebody asked me a question, particularly my friends in DST and the science sector, what have you done in science and public service? If you go and advise young people, they say, old man, what have you done yourself? That question is fair. So let me now share with you some 6 anecdotes where provide due ecology solutions to a group of 760 tanneries in Tamil Nadu, which saved, protected some 25 lakh jobs and 2,500 crore turnover during the 96-97 crisis. Then there are 177 families living, making Kolhapuri sandals in Karnataka. And we talked about working with all the 177 families, upgrade the skills and footwear artisans and improve the skills. Downside, then there you have to downsize the technology to meet the requirement. That we designed collagen-based biomaterials for management of burns, ulcers, and other disorders, and this has helped the children affected in Kumbakonam fire. the tannery sector in Tamil Nadu used to make 42 million liters per day use. We help them to reduce that demand, help them to zero liquid discharge. Today, they are producing the same amount of leather using only 6 million liters per day from 42 million liters, and that water becomes available for other people. While I was in the Department of Science and Technology, we had something called winning augmentation renovation for water formation, and we had been able to support 193 villages, give them water, rid of the water problem, and provide 15.3 lakh people a total solution to water source at a cost of 740 rupees per person. And that's a total solution between 2010 to 13. Somebody asked a question, what have we done since then? And I also talk about science for making mridangam to protect livelihood craft activity, which is otherwise extinction over a period of time. So these are from the water mission that DSC had delivered to these 193 villages. These are real life situations. I talked about the children saved in the Kumbakonam fires, the burn dressing materials. You can see these are children. The smile on their faces is an indication of what science can do. That's an important issue. I talked about the tanning industry in Tamil Nadu facing a problem of closure and how we solve. We moved from the don't to do ecology solutions and moved a technology paradigm. Talk about zero liquid discharge is a practice from 2005 in Tamil Nadu. It is not done anywhere else in the world, and therefore that's a science which has contributed to the process. Having said all this, we have found the science preceded in the world. Science came much after civilizations developed. There was musical instruments preceded the modern science. Mridangam, for example, is being made for several centuries before modern science has come to knowledge. Now, if you look at in the Western world, for making violin, the science has helped. And the question is, can make mridangam in the modern Indian science help? That's a question. So looking at mridangam, raw material is non-homogeneous. Wood, skin, sand, cooked rice, these are the non-homogeneous material. They defy standardization, and they're limited to geography based on the resource limitations, and renewability of resources is a problem. And it's a livelihood craft. And the livelihood craft, the children will not, the artisan will move away, then the craft will die. This question of engaged by flight or skill for more other remunerative process. Can we convert the livelihood craft into a business industrial avocation? Those are the questions. And the science for sustainability of mridangam making and the science for conversion of a livelihood craft into avocation has been done by us in the recent times. And we wrote a book on this, Science of Musical Instruments of Mridangam. It captures the entire process of how science can help this activity. While we talked about science, I will ask the question, what did COVID teach scientists and the society? In the interconnected world, economic order, infectious diseases also spread without geographical boundaries and nationalities like atmosphere. Science could come handy at the time of pandemic world and give clues to coping with the changed reality. For example, science will advise with social distancing, face mask, soap wash, preventing and protective gears, diagnostic RT-PCR, and preventive healthcare products and vaccines and all that. Vaccines is emergency medicine, and global collaboration science is a need. Lessons for the future from here, we have to increase the immunity level through personal hygiene. Man cannot afford to live in conflict with nature. Science with nature is a common sense. Science against nature is nonsense. So the science is not just a passionate preoccupation of scientists for self-satisfaction of the scientists alone. Competitive excellence for joy of the doer is not enough. COVID showcased a need for global collaborative excellence on science for humanity. And basically what I have done here, I've taken the GDP of various countries in the world on PPP terms and correlated with the case burden of various countries in the world. You can see there's a direct correlation between the GDP and the case burden of various parts of the world. Some countries are above and below, but there is a high in the United States and the center is India. So in the interconnected world, the globalized economy comes the price of globalization of disease as well. That has happened. Now take the mortality rate against the case burden. Again, there's a correlation. Look at this. The healthcare system of the United States is very different from the healthcare system of India. But then the case to conversion, case burden to mortality, they are correlating. There are some countries with a poorer management like Brazil, France, Russia, and Mexico. There are countries like Korea, Germany, and UK, and you can see the differences. Now, there's a correlation of the case burden with the mortality. And fundamentally, regardless of healthcare management capabilities and mortality skills are similar. And when challenged by COVID, national science thrusts had to embrace globalism as a choiceless option. Oxford developed the vaccine it produced in this country. And then there is this question of vaccine development. And primarily, the correlation between the COVID density in 41 nation states, the GDP, tells you that there is a need today. Price of globalization of economy, it makes a case for science for humanity as the next paradigm. Home, I have deleted GSDP, state gross domestic product of various states against the GDP case burden. You can see a correlation where Tamil Nadu is the leader in the process and Maharashtra has higher case burden for the mortality systems as well. Fundamentally, case burden versus mortality, case burden, the GSDP convey a message. The gross domestic product versus COVID, also Indian state or two family of lines, mortality versus case burden correlation indicates that barring notable exceptions, most states correlate credibility. Chandigarh and Punjab have high mortality. I mean, Maharashtra and Punjab have high mortality. Chandigarh has low rates. So there is science to be discovered here. All right. Let me try to play this video. This is what we are struggling for a while, that you're not getting the audio in this process.
இல்லனா மைக்ரோ லேப்ஸ்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. பெங்களூர் மைக்ரோ லேப்ஸ், ஓசூர் மைக்ரோ லேப்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் போவாங்க. இதெல்லாம் சென்னையில ஏதாவது அபெக்ஸ் ஆர்சிடு
After 25 years of intensive research, we feel there is a great deal to be done. But no one of us can do much. Some gleam of knowledge, modest and sufficient of itself, may add to man's dream of truth. It is by these small candles in our darkness that we see before us, little by little, dim outlines of that great plan that shapes the universe. And I am among those who think that for this reason, science has great beauty, and with its great spiritual strength, will in time cleanse the world of its evils, its ignorance, its poverty, diseases, wars, and heartaches. Look for the clear light of truth. Look for the road. Even when man's sight is keener far than now, divine wonder will never fail him. Every age has its own. Leave then the dreams of yesterday. You take the torch of knowledge and build the palace of the future.
Thank you for your time and mental space. The pandemic world provided an opportunity to showcase the value and strength of science and its societal implications in real life. There have been many lessons, both positive and not so positive, for both scientists and the people at large to learn from. May the public engagement of science empower the Indian society as we march from platinum to centenary, converting our political to economic independence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your very thought-provoking in our address. Thank you very much. Now it is my pleasant duty to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Vaidehi Vijay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal. Dr. Vaidehi Vijay Kumar is a renowned academician, as we all know, and a researcher with 42 years of academic experience, BE in ECE at College of Engineering, Gidi, and ME Applied Electronics, MIT, and PhD in MIT, Anna University. She underwent advanced training in multimedia networking at Ryerson University, Toronto, Canada. And for want of time, I am just restricting myself. It's a very illustrious career Madam is having. And at the culmination, she is the Vice Chancellor of Mother Teresa Women's University. Madam, it is our pleasure and privilege to have you here among us. The dais is yours, Madam. Madam, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam.
Respected Chief Guest, Dr. T. Ramaswamy. Respected Member Secretary, Dr. R. Srinivasan. The other panel members, very warm good afternoon from Mother Teresa Women's University for this Vigyan Utsav Scientific Festival theme on Science and Society, the webinar, and being a part of Arts and Science University, I'm very, very happy to share the work that is being in Mother Teresa Women's University for science education, for scientific temper, social education, value creation, economic development, societal equity, and inclusion. Next slide. Sir, am I showing the next slide?
Yes, Madam, it is moving. Please go ahead, Madam.
Basically, the science education for scientific temper can be created among the people through science exhibition, the competition, plus school students. Then also we have international lecture series, plus we wanted to promote the women scientists by honoring with awards. So in the exhibition, the exhibits are basically the product which is going to help the society, and the competition will be in a position to provide the awareness, the current science, and the opportunities available for the future people to do research. And international lecture series is providing appropriate networking so that the school children and college students will be in a position to go for higher studies based upon their interest, based upon the talents and the infrastructure plus facilities available elsewhere. So the next thing is basically exhibition is being done. Then next thing is, this is basically the type of exhibitions we have done. And we treat yoga also as a science, and we demonstrate scientific experiment, plus we are instructing the students to practice yoga so that their health and mental strength is totally in the sharp level. So next thing is competitions for school and college children. So the the competitions are basically based on techno-cultural meet, and we have seen around 250 students from various colleges participated in our meet, and the trophy was won by Nadar Saraswati College in Theni, one of our affiliated college. So this is being done across the campuses, either in Madurai, Kodaikanal, Chennai, or Coimbatore. And if we see the next team, art fabrication, poster presentation. So people are in a position to exhibit their talent via poster presentation. That is also being done. Now, if we see in the Techno Talk, the paper presentation, then software marketing, cyber street, plus we have e-made new art from e-waste. So all these things are trying to do the culture of preparing good things from e-waste and how to help the social people via software tools plus apps. So we have done lots of these kind of activities. Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology and Mother Teresa, we have combinedly done essay writing competition, drawing competition, photography, poster making competition, and several people have won prizes on this events. Now, next thing is the publication is being given to the students, and similarly, Best Researcher Award is also being given. And for this, we have prepared a complete questionnaire plus the application format and the publication, how it is to be chosen as the best, and the researcher, how she is going to be chosen as the best researcher. Several metrics and attributes are collected. Based upon that, the highest scoring person is given the award. So we can see there are few people, that is Devasena from AC Tech Anna University, then Meena Priyadarshini from Women's Studies, Uma Devi from Mother Teresa, Pushparani from Computer Science. They have won the prizes, and this is being done internally as well as external people also. Now, if we see the knowledge building via expert intervention is happening via exposing students to lecture, speeches of subject experts. We have Commonwealth, International Mother Teresa Women's University Center, which is providing avenues for organizing international workshop, international conference, and several people are invited and they are in a position to provide lectures, and the subject expert, the students from affiliated college and all the colleges are invited to attend these lectures. Then second thing is updating knowledge through acquisition of latest information. Face-to-face interaction is possible by having the subject expert present in person, emulating experts as modular role models, then providing cross-section of knowledge from regional, national, and international perspective. Finally, it paves the way for more collaborative works, MOU, internship, and joint publication. So this is basically the topics through which it is possible for us to have knowledge building. Now, when we see this next level, that is international conferences, and we can see the several international conferences, national workshop, then other training programs through which it is possible for us to impart the importance of science in students' mind. So, international lecture series is one thing. So, Dr. A. Lester Allen from University of California he visited, and a person, Martin Peacock, has visited our university from United Kingdom. Next thing is Mother Teresa Women Scientist Award. This is being felicitated in order to identify the best women scientists across India, and it is possible for them to allow them to submit their nomination, and based on the metrics, the best person are provided with awards and shield. So this is being done under the name of Mother Teresa Women's University Women Scientist Award. Collaboration through MOUs is the next thing is we have the international lecture series. This I have already told, and awards I have already told. Collaboration through MOUs, basically we are in a position to identify the like-minded or the people with whom we can definitely interface, like industries, international organization, national and state organization, through which it is possible for us to have MOUs. And next is basically science for social development. This is basically our second theme. And what we have done is systematic effort to facilitate GI tag, that is geographical indication registration we have done. And sir, okay. Kodaikanal has got a Malaipundu, which is very, very special in nature, with medicinal value. So we wanted the Pundu to be registered, and by this, the farmers can get more money for the cultivating whatever they cultivate. So the similar thing we wanted to do for Uttankudi, Udankudi, Panang Karpati, and Atankudi tiles. And by this, we are in a position to give services to the farmers and needy people so that their product will have much more respect and value in the market. Then next thing is basically, this is what is the Government of India's certification for our work. And these are the photographs taken through garlic farmers. There are more than 10 places through which it is possible to have United Farmers Association, and we are in a position to give them helping hand in marketing their product. And next is basically the evidence of success. So evidence of success is basically farmers move back to garlic cultivation, and market value has risen to 337%, and farmers producing organization started, and Tamil Nadu Agriculture Department Extension and Marketing Division started the support. Authentication is requested, and primary processing center worth 8 crore by government is being set up, and we are doing only watchdog mechanism, and this is basically the service whatever we are rendering for the farmers. Next thing is basically we have got sponsored mushroom cultivation training. So basically it is given by Tamil Nadu Science and Technology. So that state council has given this training program permission in 2021. So we have got கிராமப்புற மக்களுக்கான இலவச காளான் வளர்ப்பு தொழில்நுட்ப பயிற்சி பட்டறை. That is what we have done with this money, and rural women, those who are in a position to have their own employment, they felt it is very, very useful for them. Now, is empowering ruralities of Kodaikanal Taluk through commercially potential essential oil distillation technology. So we have several eucalyptus oil, only few such trees are being used for getting the eucalyptus oil. We are collecting all the spices of eucalyptus and trying to find out where it can be easily used. Similarly, we have this Kalan, we have around 360 such Kalats, and we wanted to find out the medicinal values of these Kalans, so it is possible for us to teach them of skill development, research, and the entrepreneurship based on their innovative product and filing intellectual property rights. These are the tasks that is being done. And skill enhancement activities, we have soft skills, language and communication skills, life skills, awareness of trends in technology, especially our center in Madurai. It has got AI lab, and we are in a position to conduct the awareness program for school and college children about the machine learning, then the soft computing, artificial intelligence, and how this can be applied on IoT, and how these technology can solve a realistic problems, whatever they are facing. That means scientific solution based on technology for real world problems we are trying to teach them. That is what is happening in awareness of trends and technology. When we see this incubation and technology transfer center, which is funded by our state government, so we are inculcating research culture in the student mind, and we are asking them to present their ideas in the conference, and we are giving support for product development, and we are helping them through IR cell. And if the patent is given, it is possible for them to be a product owner, then they will become an entrepreneur. And our incubation and technology transfer center works for the students in several areas. So here it gives guidance, mentorship, and infrastructure support. We are providing the lab space, internet, current, and the database, whatever is available with university, so that the company, whatever they wanted to start, the incubation center is flourishing. So this is our innovation and ecosystem. We have several circles. Outer circle is basically the consumers, farmers, and students, etc. Blue color circle is basically how it is being done through software tools, then products, plus we have dyeing techniques, etc. Then the violet circle is basically, in order to produce these software tools, we need funding. It is basically the collaboration through foreign, then industries, state and central government funding, academic institution. Then green color is basically our academic department, research section, and then entrepreneur development, then common instrumentation, that is central instrumentation facility, and center for intellectual property right. All these things are finally converging into incubation technology transfer cell, which is basically trying to uplift women in order to bring out the potential of entrepreneurship. And the innovative product through our ITTC is basically AI-based bison detection. Kodaikanal is very, very famous for bisons, and they are entering into campus in several times, and it is a real threat for the students. So we wanted to have a bison detection mechanism through video stream, and the camera is detecting all the object, and it will definitely classify when the moment is bison is detected, and after this we have a smart women safety system in which a jacket can be worn, and if they press a particular button, immediately the signal will be reaching the caretaker plus the police. And smart bin for smart city, this is to indicate the filling of the bins so that the corporation people will be in a position to come and clean up the bins. Online recommendation for improvising the sales market. Then old age home management in order to continuously monitor the parameter and having it for alert generation. And we have another one is basically this smart classroom using wireless communication. And next thing is human action recognition system in order to identify the behavior. So we are in a position to make these innovative project as a product and trying to help people so that it is possible for them to do the marketing without any difficulty.
நீ அனுப்பி விடாத.
The next slide is basically
இன்டர்நேஷனல்னு போட்டிருக்கு, ஏபிடிஐன்னு போட்டிருக்குன்னு அவசரப்பட்டு.
Dear participants, kindly mute your audio while the speaker is making presentation. Kindly mute your audio.
In the next slide, what we have is the Madras market, the Android application for self-help group, and this is what is a bison detection. And we have Nadu Cooperation and Development Women is giving a certificate for us, and this is the photograph of the gesture control system, and this is a smart bin system, and this is a photograph taken in the old age home. And I'm going to the last part, science for social equity and inclusion. So being a vice chancellor of a women university, we have a problem of equity. So equity is basically the women, they have their own household responsibility. Apart from that, they are coming for working. Now, society expecting the women to contribute in terms of innovation, entrepreneurship, etc. And for that, several helping hand is required. Thanks for TNSCST, which is a constant support for our university. And in this particular webinar, I wish to record my sincere thanks to Dr. Srinivasan and TNSCST for supporting us in getting GI tag and other products, etc., plus supporting us by giving funding for performing research with the limitation of Kodaikanal as well as the Women University. So what we need is sensitization of women, self-efficacy and self-sustenance. So gender equality for adolescent girls, early marriage should not be performed, and necessary higher education plus gender parity, then sexual abuse plus challenging by promoting gender equality, etc., gender and women empowerment, all these things are in our curriculum, and we are in a position to make the women students to do lots of scientific and research work, and we are in a position to give them helping hand. And these are the conferences that we have organized for women empowerment. And when we see this, a workshop on self-protecting technique for adolescent child and sexual abuse to the tune of 1.25 lakhs strain of the young girls in defensive techniques to save themselves in several situations. So this we have already done. Then our extension activities are through outreach program through NSS, RRC, ORC, etc. Then we have entrepreneurship training with this horticulture, mushroom, compost making, distillation technology. This is for creating this eucalyptus oil. All these things are being given to rural women. Yoga sessions are given. Entrepreneurship for fabric painting, indoor mat, paper bag, millet food preparation, plus Android application development for the tourism support, plus hotel management, plus old age management, plus we have workshop on managerial skills, leadership skills, etc. for creating women entrepreneurs. So we have got several funded projects, and these funded projects are basically socio-economic status of street vendors, then jury-funded Center for Artificial Intelligence, a study on child marriage in Thani district, and we have the SIRD Tamil Nadu government funded project for 4 lakh on the evaluation of Panchayat Raj Institute, and we are also organizing several short-term courses for legal rights, constitutional rights, and women's are offered for promoting gender equality. So women farmers of Deccanal orientation in the significance of organic farming practice. In nutshell, we are trying to contribute the women and the farmers of Dindigul district by creating scientific temper. We are developing the social need for scientific development, plus we are creating values, and by then economic development, and women are getting equality and inclusion. So I want to conclude, in Dindigul district we have 13 women colleges affiliated to Mother Teresa, and if you in recent NAC, we have called several representatives from several colleges, from several other organizations. They said the women upliftment through science and arts has taken place because of Mother Teresa, and the contribution in education, social upliftment, plus the other activities we have performed during pandemic period for health, hygiene, plus protection. So we are in a position to reach to the society, which is basically very much needed in order to have this strategic development goals given by Government of India. We assure that we will be achieving all these 17 goals in different levels so that women are in a position to offer the services to the nation. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Dr. R. Srinivasan, Member Secretary, Tamil Nadu Science Council for Science and Technology. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. For
Madam. Professor Ramasamy, one minute.
Yes, sir.
Madam, thank you very much for your interesting talk and innovation and enthusiastic to the student community and our researchers. Now our today's guest, Dr. Tia, wants to compliment some of your activities and he wants to tell about a few words.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. I like your presentation. Fundamentally, I remember going to your place in 2007 for a convocation address, and I found it was very limited infrastructure. But the reason I wanted to talk to you today was whether you can establish contact with the director of Indian Institute of Astrophysics, IIA in Bangalore, Dr. Anupama, and see whether some of your girl children in Kodaikanal will have access to the Kodaikanal Observatory in some sort of an internship and create some interface in that area. I'll also mention to Anupama if you want. Thank you.
We have interface with our Astrophysics Observatory Center in Kodaikanal, and our students are doing project, and we will contact Anupama in Bangalore, and we will establish connection, sign MOU, and see to that our students are in a position to go as a scientist or get a better job by this education. Our physics department has recently got funding to the tune of 2 crore, and they are doing material characterization, and that more than 35 students are studying in our PG course. Thanks for all the support, and we will definitely contact Dr. Anupama, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your elaborate presentation on the various roles played by Tamil Nadu Mother Teresa Women's University for education, research and extension activities and for the development of that region. Thank you very much. We are happy to listen to you. Now it is my pleasant duty to invite another professor from Indian Institute of Technology, Professor Dr. Mangala Sundar Krishnan. He specializes in the area of theoretical molecular and magnetic resonance spectroscopy, quantum chemistry and quantum information. Obtained PhD in theoretical chemistry in McGill University, Montreal, Canada in 1988. Spent several years in Canada as postdoctoral research fellow before returning to India as a faculty to IIT Madras. He is one of the founder coordinators of NPTEL project and has been associated with it since 2001. He is part of various committees and missions from Government of India for serving in various capacities, and for want of time I am just restricting myself. Professor, very warm welcome to you, Professor, and it is our pleasure and privilege to have you such a tall figure with among us. We are looking forward to your presentation. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Srinivasan. It's always my great pleasure to meet my senior distinguished colleagues and also share sometimes a platform with them. So let me start with our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Ramasamy, who is also a Padma Shri awardee, Padma Bhushan awardee, and yourself, Member Secretary of the State Council, and other distinguished panel members and faculty members, staff from various institutions. So first, I want to my salutations to all of you, and also my sincere thanks to DST and Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology for the invitation to speak. So let me share my presentation. See, I'm always worried about technology glitches all the time, but anyway, I hope it doesn't happen during the talk and during the session as a whole. Let me go back to the beginning. So I hope you are able to see my screen. Is that correct?
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor.
Yeah. So I'm only going to summarize a few contributions that I am familiar with and I'm also associated with in engineering, science and engineering online education that IIT had offered to the system of education as a whole, not to its students or not to its faculty, which is of course its own mandate. This is a mandate that IITs have come together to offer, and there are multiple programs of them. So I will summarize a few of them as I go along. And my email ID is, of course, already available with you. So the first program that I would like to mention briefly is the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, Nptel, and also SWAYAM later. The initiative was in 1999. I was there from the day, from that time. And in 2003, the ministry funded it, Ministry of Human Resource Development. They were a little bit, speculative about how IITs could come together and offer online courses and online lectures and so on. However, they believed that IITs, if they wanted to do it, they would be able to do it. So there was a small funding of about 15 crores. And out of that came the Nptel and later the much larger program of the National Mission on Education. So multiple institutions were partners. At that time, all the IITs and online courses accessible universally now. 2000 is an old number. Now we have more than 3,200 courses, which are free. What is the second major project that I was involved with? And also IIT Madras being completely associated with it, the entire institutional support, and more than 20 national organizations and about 20 plus national studios, the educational multimedia resource center studios involved, is the Direct to Home Swayam Prabha, which was launched in 2016. I'm still the coordinator of the project. The objective was to reach the unreached through the television and mobile. Though the network was coming and network was becoming more available, a lot of the country, a lot of institutions and lots of students did not have adequately strong and high-speed mobile, and therefore television was still considered to be the medium to access them and also to go through the mobile, which they can use low bandwidth video solutions. It offered a non-registered, in the sense it's not a certificate program, but content-rich program in all areas of arts, science, commerce, and as you see here. Currently, we have 22 channels of the Ministry of Education offering 4 to 8 hours of fresh videos, lessons every day. And to this, we add 12 channels of school education under this one single entity called the Swayam Prabha. So we have a total of 34 channels, and the government has announced 200 more channels to be added in multiple languages in order for content dissemination. This is a project in which I and I, along with many others, are actively involved in also in ensuring that the content preparation is standardized for television rendering. Then we have a large number of faculty industry experts, and we are going to add skills programs, training, which are offered by the industrial trainers as part of the course into the IT emerging tools as well as the future skills. A lot of recording lectures is also happening, recording of lectures. And soon interactions with the viewers can also happen with a special, some sort of a device that we have been, the set-top box kind of a thing that we have been interested to develop. The institution can also use the airspace directly through their students by writing to us and taking certain amount of time in order for them to reach out to all their students. All these are government programs run with the help of my the institute with which I am associated for the last 26 years. And the other example is the IGNOU reaching all its students through this Swayam platform. This is a nationally coordinated program from IIT Madras. And the other important associate or a derivative program is the National Text Transcription and the Translation Mission, which again started in 2009 with a small project offered to me under the National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. And today we have, I saw 30,000 when I wrote it, but after checking the website, I believe it is about 52,000 video lectures are already text transcribed using a combination of manual and machine. The first project that we did with IIT Madras's help and other institutional help was about 5,000 lectures, but now things have moved into the second order of magnitude region. We have transcribed the text of all these lectures and also have used translation into other Indian languages so that these lecture materials in multiple Indian languages are available to students and to teachers, whoever want to teach in the local language. The text is also using video search and keywords and concepts, and you can see that accurate subtitling. this is because it's a manual intervention. The subtitling is almost 100% accurate. And this is important for speakers from Indian the scenario, because our English language pronunciation is not uniform and is not necessarily amenable to a very good machine translation or machine recognition. Therefore, manual intervention is a major important aspect of this. And we have obviously created a lot of synchronized phrases in text and voice synchronized in millions, so that machine language and machine learning can later benefit from this for automatic translation. So this is the other major social activity that IIT Madras has permitted many of us to continue and contribute. The last of the most important activities now currently is on the skills. As you can see, this triangle on higher education. On one side, we have the content, which is the university, and also online content as we offer. And on the other side, we have the labs and training and the virtual labs, which are part of the National Mission on Education. And then the third side is, of course, the skills. The overall area of the triangle depends on all the three sides. And the students, of course, are benefited when all these three things are emphasized in appropriate amounts in order for them to start an academic career and then end up with an employment or a career upgradation or a reskilling or their own employment processes and so on. So this is the complete, what I would say, aspect of a training and a learning process for a student. And now we have moved into the skills component, and we have a digital skills academy now in IIT Madras, which promotes online skilling and training, and a lot of deep skilling as well as reskilling is also being done for private agencies, private organizations, and individuals and government agencies. It does engage industry and trainer partners. This is not a course offering like Nptel or the National Mission on Education, but this is a training component. And the training component that you can see is 70% or 80%. Therefore, the training partners are extremely important for us in directly transmitting the training aspects to the students for them to prepare for employment. So there is a theory hands-on component. You see, the theory is a smaller component, the hands-on is a much larger component. So this whole system of ecosystem is in parallel with industry partner and the academics of the IIT and the NIT system. And wherever possible, we draw inputs from the National Occupation Standards of the Skills Ministry, and also the job roles and the qualification packs provided by the various sector skill councils in India. There are 36 sector skill councils, and some of the more job-oriented, large job-oriented sector skill councils are the IT sector skill council, the banking, financial services, and the insurance sector and logistics sector councils. And these have also subjective experts in IIT system to work with the industry. So this is the third component of the social service, apart from the institute's own development of its own research, teaching, and technology, which is its mandate under the Government of India's parliamentary accession. Okay. Now, there are many of these skills courses which are currently offered as individual certificate courses, and I have listed a few of them, and there are many more which are being offered. All of this is coming under the Skills Academy, of which I'm also a coordinator of the project, jointly with NASSCOM, which enabled me to start this process by giving all the advice that I needed in order to follow these various Government of India's initiatives in bringing them to the academic component. Okay. Then, now I will give you a little bit about, in the remaining time, a little bit about the Nptel and the DTH, the Swayamprabha more. And so let me switch the presentation, because fortunately I have a very strong team as well as a very good friendly team in Nptel, which will share all the data that I need. So let me just share this Nptel presentation from what the Nptel has made today. So the project up to 2014 was on content creation and repository for self-learning. I was pretty much one of the coordinators, national coordinators of that. In 2014, we introduced a certification scheme called the Massive Open Online Course Process, but with a change that we will have the examination done in-house, in the sense it will be proctored examination. It is not online examination at homes. We see the implications of online examination in homes in the last 2 years from many colleges. Therefore, we sort of anticipated that such things should not be recommended, that we should have a very clear certification process. 2015, there were many courses, and currently Nptel is one of the largest impacting social educational transformations. You can see there's more than 2,300 courses on it. Has billions of people, almost a billion viewers, and English subtitles for more than 50,000 texts, 50,000 videos. Of course, the YouTube channel, when it was started in 2007, India did not have a YouTube office at the time. It was directly from California. And today, the YouTube, we host all these videos, and you can used by anyone. These are not necessarily for certification alone. These are for self-learning. And currently, we have more than 3,500 courses. These are certificate courses given to college students, including IIT students. If they want to take up to 3 courses, they can take credit. And therefore, this is a service provided on education, on high-quality content development, and also teaching processes. The courses, when they are offered, the teachers are with the students online, in the sense that period, they are accessible to them. So given all these things, you can see, currently we have close to, let me go to the statistics. Currently we have 593 courses in the Nptel alone. This has now been taken up by the Ministry of Education to offer what are called the SWAYAM courses. And then there are another for 300 or 400 courses from various other academic bodies, all of which come under one project called the SWAYAM, which is Nptel SWAYAM as we call it. And you can see that we started with a very meager 1.1 lakh students enrolled in 2014, with 3,000 students writing the examination, to 1/2 of the current year. This is only one semester offering, to 21.4 lakhs of students, and of which 2.26 lakhs are currently writing the examination, or they have finished the examination in this semester. So from 3% to 10%, the adoption was possible because most universities also saw this as a credit transfer for some of their students to take external courses. And therefore, you can see that it sort of goes along in parallel with the university requirements. And you can see some of these components, essentially discussion forums, live interactions, and text transcriptions, and so on. So let me also watch my time. Yeah, I need another 3-4 minutes. Is that okay, Dr. Srinivasan? About 3 or 4 minutes?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And the proctored examination, proctored certification has always been an issue, and this is not very easy to run for 3 lakh students or 4 lakh students distributed across 500 courses. We have private agencies like the Tata Consultancy Services helping us, and the small fee that is required is the only fee that we collect from the students. The course is all free as a service, and you can see that the purpose of these courses fall into multiple categories: humanities and management for various topics, and civil engineering or basic science and computer science. Basically, these courses cover all the domains of higher learning. Okay? And courses also by discipline. This is just the statistics, but more importantly, how many partner institutions. There are major partners, and there are smaller partners who offer more than, I believe, all the list of the partners you can see at the bottom here. More than 30 to 40 partners we have, and large number of courses are for public offer, public rendering. And the learner profile, if you look at it, 19% of the students, those who are registered, turn out to be faculty members from various colleges, and about 76% turn out to be college students themselves, and about 5% are people from the industry. Now, 5% of 35 lakhs is a very large number. 76% of 35 lakhs is, it's almost like half the student population, or at least 1/3 of the student population in higher education. And so you can see that the ratio of the student to teacher is phenomenally encouraging. Almost it's 1:4, while we have teacher ratio is 1:10 or 1:12. Therefore, you see many teachers are taking more than one course in order to enrich themselves with the content. So then we have a domain certification, and there is also specific domain certificates given on students taking a series of courses in that particular domain, like computer science or civil engineering or electrical engineering and mechanical engineering. Soon we will have this in science also, with relevance to industrial employment and industrial advances. Okay. So this is about the Nptel project. There's a lot more to talk about it, but I will share all these slides with you so that you would be able to go through it in your own time. And let me just quickly run through the other major project, namely the DTH Swayam Prabha, which is the free channel for education. All these 22 plus the 12 channels of education are available to you if you have a Doordarshan set-top box or if you have a free dish. You can just add the frequencies to you, and then you will see 24-hour content with the repetition of 8-hour content twice. So the overall coordination is done by IIT Madras, and there's a whole lot of team members who are helping us individual channels. And the whole idea about this is that it's a curriculum-based course content covering diverse disciplines and was formally launched by the former President of India, the late Shri Pranab Mukherjee. And it covers all levels of education, starting from school level, undergraduate, postgraduate, engineering, and out of school children, vocational courses and teacher training. National Institute of Open Schooling is a very strong partner. The Indira Gandhi National Open University is a very strong partner of these programs. Therefore, it covers education from end to end and also curriculum in practically all the areas. There is a fairly large number of medicine subjects, medical subjects, and biological sciences subjects which are being added to this. I'm also coordinating that with Manipal University and all the Institute of Medical Sciences. So the objective is to provide higher education free of cost and free to air at all levels, postgraduate and undergraduate levels. The school education, each channel caters to one particular standard or one particular student level. You can see that. They also have modules for teachers training as well as teaching and learning aids for children in India. Okay. This is a classification of those 22 channels that you can see. UGC, University Grants Commission's, the Consortium for Educational Communication, holds about 11 channels, and then those are the 11 channels, 10 plus the Vyas Higher Education channel. Each channel is dedicated to delivering subjects in a certain domain, specific domain, and those are indicated here. And you can see that the engineering and technology subjects given by Nptel and many other engineering institutes are in the 6 of the channels. And then we also have a social sciences, basic sciences, and professional vocational education, teacher education. All of this is rendered through the Indira Gandhi National Open University and IIT PAL, Professor Assisted Learning, for the high school students in class 11 and 12 to understand the things a little bit better than what is there given in the textbooks, with the help of joint lectures with the faculty and the CBSE teachers recognized by CBSE as extraordinary teachers. So these are available now. All of this is online accessible. And the courses are generally designed to be certification ready. Therefore, if a college wants to use this course and offer its own program, they can simply take this, download this, and have their local teachers offer them with their own. And you can see there are more than 3,000 institutions that have set up facilities for reception. Now, a lot more can be said about the DTH Swayam Prabha, but due to the lack of time and also to respect to the next speaker's time and others, let me stop at this point of time. Last slide that I have too. The last one slide I will mention about the schools training program that we did. Professor Ramaswamy will remember because he was one time chief guest for a valedictory function of what we call, sorry, not this one, have as a summer training program. This is a summer training program that we gave to about 40 students every year for the last 10 years. So the student training program is many things on the screen. Okay. So the summer training program in-house, 25 students plus class 12 and 40 days in IIT residential. And the objective was to choose the students from various schools based on their essays, performance, and other things, out of a total of 10 times the number of students who applied, and give them rigorous introduction to science, namely mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, apart from the core engineering that they may want to learn, because they also form, these subjects also form the core of the engineering and technology and health, and give the opportunities for students to work with projects in pairs in a laboratory of their choice inside the IIT for about 40 days, 4 weeks, 30 to 40 days. And then we have a focused library of reading materials, popular science books, apart from the lectures. And then we do have a physical education training for them to condition themselves, and extramural lectures apart from science and technology. And then handwritten summary that they have to give for their projects, 20 pages of A4 sheets. That's all. No examination, no other interrogation of any kind. They have to go through their science projects and should present a 20-minute presentation on what they have done. And they do get a certificate. What is the price that the students pay for this? They sacrifice their JEE coaching times and any other examination coaching times, because we don't allow any of them inside the training program in the campus. And they also sacrifice their staying with their families for summer, accompanying them in vacation and other things. Where are they? We have also partners in this program, Shastra University. Where are the students? More than two-thirds of the students are actually finishing their PhD or in their higher science or technology education program. And we are happy we converted some of the best intellectual minds from staying away from science because of various other reasons to come back to science and continue to do it, because science is eventually not only the foundation of the society, but if you want to take it in commercial, it's also equally profitable if you do good science. Therefore, it is important that the students have to understand the value of science and technology from the very beginning. I want to thank all of you for listening to me and for giving me the opportunity to talk about the multiple things that I have been enabled by the IIT with so many other hundreds and thousands other faculty colleagues to contribute in the whole sphere of online education and online learning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Professor, for your elaborate presentation on the opportunities available for online education in various fields, in science, technology, and all domains. Thank you very much for creating awareness and the service you are putting up for on behalf of the institutions of the society. It's tremendous. Continue to do that, and all the best and the very best wishes from our side. And in whatever way we could collaborate with you, we are ready to do that, Professor, on behalf of the council. Thank you very much. Now it is my pleasant duty to invite Dr. J. Venkata Prabhu, Professor, Director of Planning and Monitoring, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore. Professor was head Education Media Center and Education Cell of that, and Research Coordinator, Professor and Head of Training Division, and now presently Director of Planning and Monitoring. And he has been donning various roles in Tamil Nadu Agricultural University efficiently for almost 3 decades in the area of education, research and extension activities. For want of time, I am just skipping the details. I invite Professor Dr. J. Venkata Prabhu for making a presentation on science and societal contribution by TNAU. Welcome, Professor.
Good morning, sir. Could you all hear me?
Yes, Professor.
Good morning, sir. It's a great opportunity for me to talk for 20 minutes on the topic on science for social equity and inclusion. I must be thanking Dr. R. Srinivas, the Member Secretary of TNSCST and Department of Science and Technology, and Professor V. Ramasamy for introducing very briefly but very precisely about my achievements for the past 3 decades and all that. Because this is a great opportunity for me, and I've got all right to say, because we have made the social inclusion and equity, as TNAU is 116 years old, producing 867 varieties and 1,050 crop management technologies, and close to 170 farm implements and all that. Now we are the proud moments, and we are the cloud 9 to see our Vice Chancellor, Dr. V. Geeta Lakshmi, the first women Vice Chancellor out of 67 state agriculture universities and 75 central institutes across the country. She is a renowned climate scientist and also an meteorologist for the information. And we are proud to say that we have reached to 80% of the girls' enrollment in the undergraduate education, and also research impetus is given. Of course, we are number 1, the next to IIT, mobilizing the funds of 500 crore from various programs and schemes, centrally sponsored schemes, private schemes, and all that. My segment of presentation will be I talk about the general sensitization about the topic, and about the second segment, it will be talking about what is the plight of the farm women, farm managers in a nutshell. And finally, we'll be having a spillover of ideas about our scientific dent of mind and how the technology interventions that empower the women, and how we are striving to excel in our career, scientific career, to uplift the women for the socio-economic milieu. So, as APJ Abdul Kalam rightly pointed out, the learning is purposeful, thinking emanates. When thinking emanates, creativity blossoms. When the creativity blossoms, knowledge is fully lit. When the knowledge is fully lit, economic flourishes. And also the Marie Curie, as the video which was posted by the previous speaker, Dr. T. Ramaswamy, is also revealing that idea would revolutionize their life, because that's what we are talking about: equity, equanimity, inclusive growth, SDG goals, Millennium Development Goals. And of course, we are proud to see the TNU is driving hard. And thanks to Dr. M.S. Swaminathan and our C. Subramanian for having the making the begging bowl of India to now satisfied in the food security and nutrition security too, to see the India witnessing 300 million tons of food grain production. And this is a record achievement. And we are the food safety net thanks to our scientists across the country. And also a thank to the state government, especially the Chief Minister, for having reaching the saturation level of 100 lakh tons of cereal production. And we are just considering Nagapatnam and other areas. And the pulse production, we are number one. So this is how the things are going on. But the topic here is the gender perspective. Say we are depriving the women with disparities seen. They are invisible. The roles are not conspicuous. We are because depriving getting decision making. The leadership, of course, we are gradually transforming into the system to mainstream the women and all that. Of course, there is one of the shocking realities. Global Social Mobility Index says that out of 82 countries, 76th place India stands to have a stark reality of inequality. That's what we are striving hard to see, that 1,653 women officers is one of the healthy trend. And also we have a right to equality for right to rationality. With this, the PowerPoint says that gender roles and relation men are to be equalized and is unchangeable and universal. But all the technology which we devised are really unbiased and towards a male-oriented technology. We are not deliberately done it, but we are gradually sticking on to develop the drudgery-free people and economic-friendly and all. That's what equality is a indisputable precondition for broad-based sustainable development. Then we'll be talking issues or women labor or underpaid and undervalued. Of course, the wage structure is also facing a lot of discrimination. The men are, because they think that men work are very much valued, but the women work like transplanting, sewing, winnowing, and this operation do not have the machineries to support them. So their skill is undervalued and they are undermined. It's questionable for the minimum wages. But one point I would like to reiterate is the women work contribution are not unaccounted, but they are the native breeders to produce saplings and all that. They are all working full of drudgery, but so far it's not recognized. But the thing is that women as a family labor are unrecognized. Take, for instance, small and module farmer, where the women are working from dawn to dusk, but the work participation are unaccountable because the average women spend 3 hours a day in farm operations to crop and livestock rearing also. Look into the lot of roadside things and all. Women will be rearing the what you call the animals, what you call this, we all livestock animals, and drudgery is very much seen, but they contribute 40% of the annual farm income of the family. Then, next one. Women face multiple workloads because no man is coming forward. Of course, nowadays women have been equally partnered with men to do the household chores, thanks to the pandemic and thanks to the COVID, and they realize the stress and all that. But as our case and all, we are all contributing to women also in doing the research and doing our women to come to the limelight and all that. The stress and strain involved in them, because now the working women is there, and the rural women also full of strain and stress because increased responsibilities, and they are only burdened with the household chores, and they are either paid or unpaid for that, because that's how we have to understand their plight and all, which should be realized in the larger angle and all. Women's lack of participation, access to skills. now the thanks to our Prime Minister's effort, Skill India concept, reskilling, upskilling, and system of education like innovating and imagining, recreating, co-creating demands that skills must be imparted for them to get empowered. A lot of training programs have been imparted for them, and a lot of information have been shared by ICT tools because we've got a agri-tech portal where we share a lot of information for the women. Now we've got agri-business development directorate where the trainings have been imparted for them in a lot of people are coming and they're getting trained. Women are gradually sensitized, and urban is also be a concept, not only rural people. So women are seldom considered consumers technology programs, extension efforts, but skill imparting technologies, training, seminar, decision making, or making it a full swing to involve them. Next one. Women are disseminated because we are not deliberately done it, because we are not sensibility is also not there. Sensitivity is also not there earlier. Now we are sensitized, we are sensitive, we are committed. The technologies are gradually, the last slide I'll be explaining, a lot of works are done in our projects to help the women, support the women, anchor the women by giving the technologies to have a sigh of relief and ray of hope to them to participate in the in agriculture activities. Women get displayed tradition because this is one of the important slides we have to say, because gender blind farm technology trends of commercialization sweep away the labor and order. So livelihood is not under the mayor. Though they work, they're not given money. The men is dominating to snatch the money and order. Equally true in crop management, especially rice cultivation to plantation sector. Rice cultivation is laborious process where the women are toiling like anything. Because we have got SRA cultivation system at rice intensification, Bono video, all the things are very important technologies. For that only we are able to reach out to 100 lakh tons thanks to SRA technology. And dryland technology is also giving impetus to have a pulse production in all that. Male-oriented machines like tiller, sprayer, transplanter, harvester, or because more predominant. Fisheries also, I would say, mechanized fishing, processing, and production of fishing net are not given impetus for women. Livestock management also, because they have been doing it, and but they are very less paid in all that. Milking by paid labor. The men control the entire marketing of the milk products, and money is also possessed by the men for. The women lack access to farm inputs, wealth, and financial incentives. Farm inputs, services, and all male oriented, especially in the southern district or any other district, we say Tamil Nadu, elsewhere, the male has come to the limelight and the women are become taken at the back or taken the back seat. A lot of constraints and a lot of inputs, seeds, fertilizers, pesticides not given to them, and technical guidance also they are deprived. Consultations also they are not done. This is again that's one of the rude reality in Hindu also I saw that 81% of the women are not given importance and they have become suppressed by the men folk. And here I'd like to one point, as Zora Neale Hassan rightly said, every stool must stand on its own leg. So every woman must stand on its own leg. This is what the women's sector should also understand. Extension system fails to view the women as target audience. Now we are, thanks to Krishi Vigyan Kendra, funded by ICR, which is targeting and giving impetus to the women. They are viewing women as target audience. Of course, the Vice Chancellor will be also making another 3 years, making the women to the limelight by a lot of policy initiative and what of strategies she'll be able to make it out to see the women in the limelight in the next 3 years. Thanks to the system. Women lack access to market and control of farm income and all that. Marketing is another important crushing thing where the men are specific, the women are really crashed, and the real cash goes to women alone. Women are silent here. Women friendly is not done in the marketing. And national women farmers is exploitation and all that. Though there are a lot of women managers in Pollachi areas, Erode areas, and all the predominantly are coming up. Now the trend is also encouraging because Tamil Nadu has come in a big way to give thanks to Chief Minister, giving more importance to women in all walks of life, so that a women entrepreneur are giving a telling percentage. So thanks to the expansion growth of the women in various sectors. Women-based food safety malady, this is one of the important bothering issue because the climatological aberrations and extreme floods were the first and frontline affected our women sectors. The second one is children. The poverty has got the feminine face always, and that family food security is adverse. Women are the first to be affected, thanks to again the efforts taken by the public distribution system, which helps the women to get the bread, butter, and everything. And the ration shops are giving a lot of this thing. And when the COVID didn't affect the agriculture sector, every sector was affected. The agriculture sector is cascading and going incessantly without any stoppage. Now the malnutrition also we are making in consideration, making the fortifying biscuits, millets are fortified to have a malnutrition curbed, and children of the what you call the studies or the school children are given the malnutrition free meals. For that we have fortified biscuits also. This is also be given a special impetus. Next one. Coming for the next thing, women's priorities, needs, and problems are plenty, but it is not attended to. They ignore decision making. Normally, the men say, "You don't talk about anything. You can't. You don't talk about any." This thing is a tendency of the women, and also it's male-dominant world, of course. But the thing necessitates, agriculture necessitates women must be also given impetus because they're toiling in the sunny weather from the dawn to dusk and all that. A different orientation must be given to them. And efforts of research, extension, education also talk about the women researchers nowadays, and the women are having coming forward to do a lot of works, the research, a lot of TOT efforts and all that, and educational angle also. We are confronting a lot of issues, and thanks to efforts taken by government to a self-help group, the financial security, and that was one of the initiatives taken in self-help group talking about the microfinance. This is again the good sign for them to develop. Gender disagree needs are to be valued and considered. Next one. The role of KVK, this I would like to reiterate here, that KVK is run of the entire Tamil Nadu, 14 Vigyan Kendras. Here, training is the important component. Front-end demonstrations we conduct for the women to have a first-hand knowledge, first-hand information and all that. A lot of vocational managerial skills for income generation activities. And the grassroots training is given to the exchange functionaries. On-form testing of technologies also call upon the women. This is a carry-on call for the women farmers and the women trainees to get into the farm advisory services like soil health, plant health, and animal clinics, and suitable feedback mechanisms also to the researchers to make them fine-tune and reorient and make the technology tailor-made for the women to get into it. The refinement technology and reinvention is again going on a full swing to develop a new technology for women would to come to the limelight. Next one. I complete the time. I think I've got another 7 minutes to talk about. Capacity to identify the partnership also. Identify women farmers as equally important as men. Orientation, commitment, and develop technology for clienteles. A lot of productivity and rural, because we are talking about productivity nowadays, because doubling the farmers' income is the need of an order of the day, for which we are striving hard to work in the 26 agroclimatic 26 centers, work in 7 agroclimatic zones. 1/6 of scientists are working here. The female and male farmers participate effectively with targeted support and all that. We are striving hard to introduce a lot of technologies to the interventions and to make them realize the real income in the days to come. The project is now, the interim is going on. It will be end up in 2023. For the past 3 years, we've been doing several strides to, we embarked a journey to have a doubling the income and all that. In that way, micro irrigation and other organic farming, vermicomposting, a lot more technologies are really women friendly, and they seek support the government to do this well in the days to come. Next one. The user-friendly delivery system is one because women farmers are handicapped. Their subsistence income producing agricultural activities. Their derived income and status are also declining. The employment opportunity also declining. And the delivery system of this function needs thorough changes like target group oriented contents, methods, tools, timings, venues, duration, or if events like training, technology transfer, and all that. Looking this in the broader perspective and putting our contemplation on this, and we made a lot of pilot testing demonstrations of all the women-friendly drudgery reducing machineries, and we are trying out, and this is also coming in a big way to support the women to do a better work in the farm. Next one. Programs, models, policies. I must be thanking to the central government and all state government for giving huge funds of researchers. This time the state government has given us 46 crore and 10 crore by using the drone technologies and other things. And also I must be thanking the State Planning Commission for giving the special area development projects wherein the tribal women are concentrated. Nearly 1.5 crore has been given to the state SADP. And Chief Minister's State Balance Growth Fund also we got 1.5 crore, where we talked about the tribal women, and which we'll be showing in the final slides and all that. And for this, we are striving for. And Tamil Nadu Innovation Initiative is also given fund to give a special impetus for the research through which the upscaling is done for the women farmers also. And central government is also funding NAD, National Agriculture Development Project, and National Mission on Agriculture. So all these are giving the infrastructure development and all that. So thanks to the governments for having the programs, and we have got a development models also, and we are developing a policy document also under the director cards to have a social auditing, constraint analysis, and formation of model extension system and delivery packages. And the female farmer should also be considered an integral part. For this, we are striving hard through Krishi Vigyan Kendra and other all-out efforts and concert efforts have taken us for a human resource development also through our various schemes. As already told you, we are generating 500 crores through various schemes and also projects funding. So we are having a very hefty research funds for us to take this to the field level and helping the warm women do a drudgery-free work in the field. Okay. In here, because I would like to read here one point, the Priyadarshini Yojana, which talks about the collateral security giving the funds, self-help group of microfinance, Rashtriya Mahila Kosh, credit for microcredit of women, and Swayam Siddha, rights and privileges, and Antyodaya also. So all these programs are giving the standard of living for the women, and the backward and forward linkages are being made. And this is again giving a greener pasture and be cushioning effect for the women to be taken care of. So the strategies for mainstreaming, I don't want to read all these things. And already need-based programs, models are to be developed, mainstreaming is to be done, women's access to resources, extension, skills, technologies, insurance. Of course, crop insurance, government is giving a huge amount and all that. And this is again because of climatological aberrations, a lot of extreme floods, climates changing. Of course, global scenario and natural scenario is also very much dwindling. Glacial is also born that Rishiganga, Alaknanda, all the mountains melting. The recent floods in Idiki and also what you call Uttarakhand is also giving a signal for us to have this kind of insurance for the women, security, credit, and also property inputs also enhanced. And workers should convince the farm women to organize women's societies. Of course, we've got farmer interest groups, farmer producer organizations also. We are working with the farmer producer forest. We have been giving special impetus for the women and all that, and conducting social auditing. This we'll be doing it. Farm women has a less economic contribution. Policy support is to be designed for which we are working on to give a special impetus for the sector. And gender sensitization programs and capacity building of the KVK staff is in full swing to have a long-term goals to reach out to the underprivileged people. And we've got gender analysis. We are doing a lot of research on that. And we are giving a lot of research topics to students to have a development planning. And women are equally represented for resource entitlements, credit access and all that. Augmentation of crop production, food security, livelihood security also. Women are giving special importance. Next one. This is because biomass production, we have got access to vermicompost compost unit where the women are involved here. Innovative credit programs and right training is given. Collective farming, we are thinking of doing it. Active women be identified and proper healthcare support must be given. Gradually reduced technology is to be issued. This is an area wherein we are working for the special area development project thanks to the collector of Erode, doubling the income of vegetable growers, and thanks to the Dean Horticulture for giving the brinjal grafting technology and to address the biotic and abiotic stress. This has given a good impact for the women working in the what they call as Erode district, Talawadi block. We have taken this. The project is on. Brinjal grafting production techniques important. Farmer interest groups and per capita income is also rising. So these are the photographs. Another skill-oriented training for the brinjal grafting is also attempted here. A larger number of women are participating. This is one of the gratifying impact. Next one. This is another thing we are working for the tribal women under the special area development project in bio enterprises, and we are giving the training on the biofungicide preparations. Recently, we visited Dindigul also, thanks to the collective Dindigul, and this is a tribal women state community village in the most of the Kodaikanal district, Tandikudi and Pachadur, and people are coming very much forward to undergo this training. Of course, we'll have a good impact and tangible outcome of this project. Next one. And this is another project which is given by State Balanced Growth Fund. And here we are giving for Tirukuraja as a medicinal plant, which is an endangered species. An inventory is being done, and indigenous technical knowledge has been revalidated, and this is scientifically proven. And this kind of known and commercially viable technology is important for the women to grow this kind of medicinal plants, which will also enhance their livelihood, reduce the poverty, and make them to mainstream development. Pilot-scale processing units training farmers are being done. There's a project run in Madurai district. And I don't have a PowerPoint for to depict this one of the important occupational drudgery of farm through agronomic interventions. That in the Community Science College in Madurai, wherein 63 awareness programs have been created and 3,547 farm women have been benefited in 15 districts. We are designing and fabricating machineries on handheld seedling or transplanter, seed placement tube, long handle hoe, hand fertilizers, and improved ring cutter, onion bulb planter, and power-operated mechanical dibbler, and personal protection clothing. These are all our intervention making the women to the limelight. And of course, the deprivation and disparity must be curbed, and the country should come forward to make the gender roles realized in families, and a lot of tools that we address to reduce the drudgery. Suitable technologies has to be devised and gentle. This is in a nutshell about my presentation. Thank the opportunity for the member secretary, Tamil Nadu State Council of Science and Technology, and also I profusely thank Dr. B. Ramasamy for introducing me and making this opportunity to take part of the Vigyan Utsav Science Festival of today's auspicious day. Thank you for the opportunity. Once again, thank all the speakers.
Thank you, Professor, for elaborate presentation on the activities of Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, the contribution made through research, extension, and various activities. We are very enlightened, and I am sure that the participants will contact you for many of their requirements in future. We will also continue to collaborate with you in whatever programs of the councils we are collaborating. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure for us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now it is my present duty to invite Professor Dr. A.V. Om Prakash, Director, Center for Animal Production Studies, Tamil Nadu Veterinary and Animal Sciences University. Sir is a specialist in poultry breeding and artificial insemination. He has standardized technique for semen production, collection, and extender, cryopreservation of poultry, and he has perfected the novel technology such as poultry spermatozoa penetration assay, etc. He did pilot work in seminal morphology of the ostrich. There are a lot of laboratory works which has been taken to the field. He has guided 15 MBSc students and 5 PhD students, published 141 research articles and many popular articles, and 18 books to his credit. Professor is also a Tamil Nadu Scientist Awardee, and we are very happy to confer the award on him in the year 2015, given away by Honorable Chief Minister of our state. Now I invite Professor Dr. A.V. Om Prakash for making a presentation on contributions made by Kanwas for Science and Society. Professor, it is all yours.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Respected Dr. Srinivasan, Member Secretary, TNSCST, most revered Professor T. Ramasamy, Padma Shri, and my dear co-presenters and the entire fraternity of scientific community who are watching this online. Shall I share the slides, please? Shall I, Ramasamy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audible. Shall I share the slides?
Please, Professor, go ahead.
Yes. It is under process anyway. Let me give an introduction on the presentation. Is it audible now?
Yes, Professor. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this topic is on science and society, and here I am to present on the activities of Canvas, a 33-year young university is striving in a right direction for and it was ranked #1 veterinary university among the state veterinary universities recently. And this presentation is based on all the production activities carried out by this directorate for the benefit of the society, and especially the society including the women. As you all know, our India is an agrarian society, and most of the activities are towards agriculture, and livestock is again a major component in agriculture sector. As you see from the slides, you can know the importance of this sector. And the milk is the most popular and highly produced commodity in India compared to all other agricultural commodities. And we have surpassed, owing to the white revolution, which is in the hands of millions and millions of individual animal holders. We are not talking about the what is called farms. We are talking about the individual animal holders. So that in turn has made a great contribution in this angle. So now you can see the slides, just an introduction. And as you see, our country is also very rich in the biodiversity. So my presentation now concentrates mainly on the biodiversity of our country. As you see, our India has more than 50 breeds of cattle, 40 breeds of sheep, and 40 recognized, unrecognized breeds of poultry, and all others. Now you can see from the earlier slides also, there is a rise in cattle population and the sheep and goat population from the census. It shows a positive trend in spite of the all other bottlenecks like natural resources, depleting natural resources. However, we are concentrating.
Slides are not moving, Professor. Please, sir.
Slides move over here.
It is in the first page itself.
Yeah. Is it moving?
Not yet. Not yet. It is in the first
Now,
page.
how is it? Now, is it moving?
No, Professor, not yet.
Not yet, huh? Move over. So what you are seeing, sir? Actually, what is on the screen now?
What is the first page? First page.
Introduction is there.
Yes, yes. No, only your
Only the name is there.
Yes, Professor.
ஸ்லைட் ஷோ மோட் போ சொல்லுங்க. ஸ்லைட் ஷோ மோட் போட ஸ்லைட் எடிட் மோட்ல இருக்கு. ஸ்லைட் ஷோ மோட் போ சொல்லுங்க.
Can you move the slide show, Professor?
ஸ்லைடு மூவ் ஆகும்.
So is it now shared?
Yes, Professor. Now we are looking at the cover page.
What's the slide?
Yeah, move to the next slide, please. Is it visible?
Yes, now it is moving, Professor. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the disturbance. And now let me proceed. And now, as you see, now we are concentrating mainly on the productivity enhancement, conservation, and greening of our activities. These three are main concepts in the case of even the sustainable development goals of the country as well as our state. So based on that, we are working hard, and we have 5 breeds, specific breeds of cattle in Tamil Nadu, as you see over the screen. and all the breeds have been conserved separately by establishing separate research stations for these breeds, and we are also concentrating on improving the productivity because all are blood breeds. Now we are trying to do something for the betterment of this society who are handling these animals for better economic returns. We are making some changes in these genomics and productivity by making them a mixed breed so that these farmers can get some revenue out of this. So apart from this, we are also promoting native milk. That is, now you all know the native milk, there is a lot of demand for the native cow's milk, and which is contains A2 casein. It's very beneficial for the human health. And apart from that, we are also producing some products which is value-added products like ghee and dahi and all other products. And this is much valued, and we are also forming a farmers producers group. Yes, we are producing farmers producers group are organized, and a lot of success stories are there in this. Just I want to mention it here regarding this cattle. Next is we have sheep and goat, and there are around 10 breeds of sheep and 4 breeds of goats, and we have conserved almost all the breeds of sheep and goats, the sheep especially in their breeding tract, and we are some of the breeds are also endangered. We have separate research stations for this. Recently we have established. We have good funding for these sheep and goat as well as cattle. Recently also we got some 5.5 crores for the cattle research stations, especially for the native cattle as well as the cattle of Tamil Nadu and as well as India. It is underway. So next is now this is a in situ I showed you. This is ex situ conservation again. Here you can see the we are also do the conservation of ex situ in terms of salmon and embryos, and we see from the slides so many numbers have been conserved and stored for future use by National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources as well as our own laboratories. So this is another way of conservation. Then we go for the embryo transfer technology also in these native animals, so that this is putting the productivity on a fast track, so that more producing and high superior germplasm can be got in a short span. So we are now this technology is only done in crossbred animals and exotic animals. Now we are perfecting this technique into our native animals, and our entire protocol has been developed, and we are succeeded also in this developing. And cows we have yield. Some of the cows have been born to this embryo transfer technology, and we are also storing some superior embryos for future use. From this you could see. And the next comes the phenotypic characterization. This is also very important, and we have done phenotypic characterization of all our breeds of cattle, because this is very specific to the breed, and we have to do this to improve the productivity of these breeds as well as to register with our societies and to form the farmer societies also. Then the same way the sheep and goat also we have done it, and we have also published monographs for the different breeds, which is the document in future. Next. Then we have a core laboratory in our university which is documenting all the molecular characterization. That is, we are doing molecular characterization also apart from phenotypic of all the breeds, including from our neighboring states like Ongole, Amrit Mahal, Halikar. All those things have been taken in because we want to study the phylogenetic tree, where they are located, how they are evolved, and what are the common characters shared by these animals, all those things, and to exploit them on commercial scale. So even the lesser known breeds like Alambadi, and we have separate center for it, and Malay Mad also being actively studied. Even the small animal called this Kanjipuram Kottai, we also recently have got a project on this, and we also developing studies and to targeting certain genes which is responsible for X-sorting, because we want to do sex sorting of salmon, whereby we can do some inseminations using sex-sorted salmon, so that only female calves will be born. We can increase the productivity and milk production through this technology. Next is genetic diversity and phylogenetic analysis also done in the case of cattle by DNA markers, as well as by other methods, including the exotic breeds, and the association of gene polymorphism in the case of certain genes, targeted genes have been studied, especially for a high milk yield and high fat content, so that introduction of these genes into the future population definitely improve the productivity of these native animals, so that we can put them on the commercial scale. And also we are also doing, because there is a recent awareness among the Tamil Nadu for the sporting, the Jallikattu. We are also concentrating on developing some Jallikattu breeds and improve the sporting activities, especially the Puliculam and the Kangayam. And this, then again, the molecular characterization of all the breeds of sheep and goat also been underway, and we have done all the uniqueness of these breeds is that, for example, if you take Madras Red again and Mecheri again, they are very good in meat, and the Tichi Black, and they are for the coarse wool type. And then if you take Santinella and Nilagiri, they are for the fine wool type, all those things. We are concentrating on developing the targeted characters of these, and we are also associating with so many farmers community, and so that I can show in the future slides also how we are interacting with the farmers community and to improve the flocks in the field. And then the molecular characterization of Kani and Kodi are also been carried out. So molecular characterization of Patanam and Nelu sheep, because the Nelu sheep is a promising sheep. We are also characterizing these sheep also to microsatellite markers, and we are exploring the genes which are responsible for the improvement, so we can interact with other lesser known or lesser producing breeds. So again, we are also studying the genetic resistance to diseases. This is a very important point. In the case of sheep, by certain identifying certain genes responsible for parasitic load which can resist, and we are also studying some genes like FEGB, which can increase their twinning process, because twinning is very common in goats, but in sheep twinning is not so common. So FEGB gene introgression is being done in Nilagiri and other breeds of sheep which have very less number, which are under endangered nature. So this process will improve these breeds and will bring out of this dangerous condition where they may go extinction. So the FEGB gene is very useful in this case. And we are also studying the morphological characters of an indigenous pig also, because now we are very done 20 years of 30 years of research in exotic breeds. Now we are concentrating on indigenous breeds of pigs also. They have their own advantage of lean mat production and more whelping and other aspects. We are also doing some crossbreeding programs in these also. So characterization of the local pigs is also being done. So this is, I told earlier, that this is again which helps the shepherds and those who are handling the sheep. Individual, this is one example I can show here. How many, you can see from the slide, how many beneficiaries have been benefited, how many superior germplasm of good quality 30,000 grams have been given to the farmers in the breeding tract. And you can see the benefit of the interventions like increase in body weight, increase in birth weight, reduction in mortality, and also this has caused a very great impact in the society, especially the farmer society. In the past 25 years, this program is very successfully running. And next we could see again in the nature sheep also similar program is underway, and it is one of the finest skin we can obtain from this nature sheep apart from the meat. And we also have the similar programs where a lot of farmers are getting benefited around these Salem and other Karur districts. Next. So coming to the pig improvement programs, again, I already told you Lajwajashire is already there. We are studying the local pig, and we have developed a cross called the gold. It's a gold variety, as you see, we can see from all its productivity and parameters have shown very good improvement in crossbreds, and including the body weight, fitness, and livability, feed efficiency, and all. So this there is a very welcome trend for this crossbred pig, and a lot of takers, a lot of farms have started, a lot of germplasm has been distributed to farmers to start their own activities, especially. So it's a very successful model among the farmers all over the state. And we have done some work on poultry also. It's my own domain, and we have developed. Our main aim is to develop varieties of poultry for disease tolerance and heat tolerance. See, two aspects. So we have done some gene integration with frizzle and naked neck genes, which is very common in ecotypes in this state. And we had integrated, we studied the productivity enhancement. We could see the body weight improvement in most of the breeds which has integrated with naked neck, and as well as frizzle has got its own advantage in controlling the what I can say, the internal thermal rise, so that the animal, the birds will be in homeostasis and produce well in spite of high ambient temperatures. Next. So these are the some tolerant varieties we have developed and very successful. I can show you in the next cascade of the slides what is the benefit and what is the popularity with the farmers. Next. So the scope for developing the there is a climate resilience. This climate resilience is one of the sustainable development goals. All the animals will develop sustainable, that is resilience in especially in poultry. We have done some work on genetically using the certain tools like the whole genome assay and including the functional genomic microarray assay, and then all the transcriptome analysis. We are exploring the genes as well as which are responsible for the tolerance. So we are in future definitely we are going to, yes, yeah, resistant varieties which can produce well as well. And the whole genome analysis, especially the asil, is the most commonest and most popular breed of the India. This we have done some work and we integrated certain genes, and we also expressed some 50 genes have been explored, and we are also studying the characteristics, and we are in the process of further improving the present synthetic varieties. And again, if you come to Tamil Nadu, this Siruvadai and Peruvadai are very common varieties. This is the only variety of Tamil Nadu. So what you see there, so the bottom is the Siruvadai and the upper one is the Peruvadai. The Siruvadai, we are doing some genetic works to identify the actual Siruvadai germ process because it's a highly conserved variety, and we are doing some mitochondrial D-loop studies also in this, some dissertation works and research are going on in this, and already we have grouped them, and we have a project also for more than 1 crore. And again, the Peruvadai also now we are concentrating, which is again sporting animal, and these breeds, so many varieties are there. We are concentrating on improving the body weight and the flightiness of the breeds for sport purpose. And this is the outcome of our university research and some of the very successful varieties you can see here. This is a color variety of layer. Usually there is a lot of money spent for color eggs. So this is one variety which can nearly compete with the commercial layers with 225 eggs, and each egg is sold at the rate of rupees 10. And the farmers are very much interested, and you could see the numbers. This is the germ blossom that is that's distributed as a breeder unit. Next one again, next is the Thanuas asil. This is a star bird, and we are this very popular among the farmers and used in backyard also, as well as for commercial purposes. And it's the meat is very tasty and it is exotic in nature. And what you could see the parameters here is that production of eggs. That is, usually a native chicken produces only 60 to 80 eggs, but we made some changes in the breeding programs and the genetic modifications and to produce 160 eggs. That is the star of this bird, and nearly double the eggs, and so that more number of eggs can be sold by farmers and get more profit, as well as you can also get more number of chicks per dam. That is also a critical point here. And you can see the more than around 10 lakh birds are in this farming community. And this Nandanam chicken 3 is one of the tastiest broiler bird which we have developed. And this is a little almost like a near red meat. It's a pink meat variety, and is very popular among farmers for commercial semi-urban and urban areas, and very good feed efficiency. It also produces 150 eggs, bigger eggs of A plus eggs, which is fetched very well by the farming community, and very well, so very urban population like this very well. Next is the turkey. This turkey is very popular, though it is seasonal in nature. This compact variety of turkey has been developed because the exotic varieties are very big. So for Indian market, we need only 3 to 5 kg of turkey. So this has been developed, and it's very successful also. A lot of people are raising this variety because white variety will always risky. Now we have gone for a color variety wherein it is very good, useful in the backyard system. So this variety is successful also. More than around 26,000 has been supplied as a breeder unit to the farming community. Especially women folk are interested and involved in all the poultry varieties which are raising, and most of this main social benefit is that household nutrition security and women empowerment are the two key points, especially in poultry rearing. So again, this you know very well, the guinea fowls. We have variety for the meat purpose as well as egg production dual purpose, wherein you could see it is also successful, and more than 20,000 birds are being supplied to this farming community. And we have collaboration with all the laboratories around the state as well as around India. So many laboratories and so many farms and research stations, and we are exchanging our germplasm. We are supplying germplasm to Central Asian Research Institute. Also, we have done some research and collaborative work in all these aspects, and most of these varieties also registered with NBAGR. Next. Again, the coil was introduced in Delhi in 4 decades ago, and we got it immediately, and we done some research for the past 40 years. And this is one of the important variety we developed. And this is coils is known to everyone nowadays in the urban and semi-urban areas, and very good feed efficiency, good body weight, and exotic taste. And you could see the more than around a lot of entrepreneurs are there in this, and this coil farming has become an industry now almost, and we have supplied the germplasm to this industry also as a base population. Now we are at developing separate egg line because a lot of people are interested in coil eggs. So we have developed the egg line also. It is under process, and it will be released shortly. And coming to the gold, this I already told you, this is the very starved animal, and it is sold in a very fast track manner. And a lot of farmers are there in all over the state to take this variety. And because of its benefits of higher body weight and feed efficiency, and also its high litter capacity, and it is resistant to diseases. So this is an important breed and pig which is very popular with the farming community. The other products which have is very successful is this mineral mixture. The mineral mixture, we have specific mineral mixture and common mineral mixture. This is developed by our directorate and university, and this is made a very good impact, a big dent in the mill, that is a dairy industry, wherein this has resulted by feeding this, we can easily improve so for 0.5 or 300 to 500 ml of milk, you can obtain easily. And also in the fertility problem, the major problem in case of bovines is being solved by the supplementing this mineral mixture every day in the production of these animals. So it is very popular, and you could see the number of farmers are covered, more than 4 lakh farmers already covered by this scheme, and more than 10 lakh dairy animals are covered even under World Bank schemes and other research schemes and other funding agencies. Then this is another important thing in the Converse grant. This is the one recipe which is developed by our directorate and the college at Nadu. And this recipe is very important because nowadays lot of animals are fed underfed. They are not fed fully. That's why we could exploit the full potential of our native birds, native animals, and even the crossbreeds are not fed properly. So by giving this grand supplement, the underfed animals can also be brought to the milk, so that as you see from the slide, nearly 1,000 ml milk can be improved. This has made a very big dent in the milk industry as well, because with less cost they could get more, because you're spending only 2 rupees and getting around 1 liter of milk which costs over 30 rupees. So you can work out the difference. Mostly the women folk are involved in this, and this common situation which is seen in the villages, and very much they are like this, and they are asking for this product from every nook and corner of the state, and we are working on this, and we have done a lot of mega projects on this also, involving all agroclimatic zones, and we are using the World Bank funds. Next is the salt lick. This is again another intervention which is very important for large animals as well as small animals, that is sheep and goat, because this is a critical vitamins and minerals are supplemented to these animals use this. If they take this, the productivity is improving, body weight is improving, milk production is improving, fertility problem is solved. So we given this technology to the farming community. They themselves have come forward. They provided some machines to prepare this salt lake mass using them, and we have supplied these machines to them also. Now there is a big, what I can say, farmers producer group involved in this, and they're marketing this product, in their own association names, and it is benefiting a lot of farmers, as you see from the slide. Next. So this is a mixed ration. Why I'm talking about all this is that because nowadays the fodder scarcity is a big problem. Now you could see nearly, if you want to solve this problem, you have to put 5 lakh acres of land under fodder cultivation. If you do that, you can compensate the loss. Otherwise, there is a nearly 40 to 45% deficit in the green fodder production. So we have to look for other means to compensate the loss, as well as that's why we are doing this total mixed ration using the industrial waste, agricultural waste, and combining with minerals and fortifying with vitamins and making it a single block, and our extruder form we give it to the farmers. And we are also in this angle. We have given the machineries to the farming community and farmers group for preparing their own TMR blocks or extruder products, so that it has got a very good keeping quality also. We are using grower dried grains or distillery waste, anything, any thrown away agricultural waste can be brought into this, and we have formulated the formula for different zones and different local areas where it can be implemented, so that the dairy farmers can feed their animals at a lower cost. So that is the important point of this. TMR is gaining popularity among the farming community. So these are all some of the, we have a separate wing for University Innovation and Instrumentation Center. In this, we are giving so many implements to the farming community, and we do our designing also in a low cost and supply to the farmers. Some of the few things are here. Among this is this hydroponics. Hydroponics is, again, the fodder scarcity is very common, and during the drought period between May to September, the animals will not have even a single leaf to eat. So at that time, we can have this hydroponic method of producing green fodder, which is very nutritious, little expensive, but it can solve the problem. And we also have a prototype for different production units. Like if you want a bigger one, you can have bigger one. If you want a smaller one, even for 1 or 2 animals, you can have a portable small one. So like that, we have developed so many, and we have distributed through scheme to 50% subsidy also to the farming community. And this is one of the promising technologies. So again, these are all some of the technologies for rural poultry. We have done one portable. There is the brooding nest for the prevent poaching by the other animals with small cage systems, and this multiple cage systems for the farmers to use. And this is one chute like for the lambs and pigs, because when they are young, when exposed to the low temperature, they will die of pneumonia. So if you put them inside that with infrared lamp or other lamps, they will be surviving, especially in extreme climatic conditions. It is very useful also. Other things are also there. We have most just we don't have time. We have more than 200 such products which we have developed and supplied to the farmers and other animal handlers and livestock farmers. And this is again one part of our intervention we have given to the animal husbandry department also. This is a 10-cent model. Why? Because everybody cannot raise, nobody is interested in raising fodder, because even though have land, they are not sparing land for the raising fodder. So because most of the holders, I already told you, they are single animal holders or 2 animal holders, milk animals. So this 10 cent is enough for them. You can see the composition here: 0.4 for the cereal, 0.4 for others, 0.2 for leguminous fodder, and around that you can have a what can I say, tree fodder sampling, so that two cattle are 10 to 5 to 10 sheep and goat can thrive on this. There is the biomass produced system is enough for these animals. This asola cultivation, again we are propagating very well, and this is very useful to. These are all the cost cutting, especially if you take it. You take the livestock sector, the main cost is the feed. So to cut down the cost, this is one of the methods which is easy, can be easily propagated and very useful. We can produce a good quality milk, a recognized milk, egg also very good. The birds will be very colorful, and as well as the egg yolk has improved. So many other factors are there. You can cut the cost by 20% by feeding this azolla cultivation, which is popular among farmers. We are giving training also in this. And I want to tell you here that this university is offering skill development programs in most of the niche areas like this, the hydroponics and other things, and including self-employment programs. A lot of farmers are getting benefited from this. This is again hydroponics in a bigger way. We are doing it, and we given training to the farming community. And each district is having a demo unit also for this to demonstrate the hydroponic systems, because so that the farmers will benefit from this even by using any grain, not only maize, other grains also be used to develop the hydroponics and feed the animals when there is a shortage of green fodder, particularly during the summer months. And again, this is one of the farmers who has awarded the best farmer award by adopting this technology. And this is motivating to other farmers also. So mostly we do training to the farmers, and learn again, the farmers will go and give training to other farmers so that they will get their confidence building method. They will get more interested in this. And this one more I want to tell you here. We are doing on a climatic changes also. We're doing work, and this is one international agency is doing. This is the second phase we are doing now to do some work on carbon sequestration and C&N, then N2O emissions, and then methane emissions. Also, a lot of work is being going on, and feeding strategies and tracing the different agro models, the agri-silvicultures, and integrating with animal components. We are doing a lot of work in this also. Coming to the one part of it, this is the we are striving hard to benefit the farming community as well as the women folk, as the earlier speakers were telling. So I have given only the what can I say, tip of the iceberg of our work, which is done here because of the paucity of time. And now we are also working on this the background of sustainable goals, and we also do controlling the greenhouse gases, and also control and making the livestock more resilient to the climatic changes as well, so that the productivity can be improved, and the cost per unit production can be completely brought down. So this is in a nutshell, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor, for your kind presentation on the activities of Tanva's the research and extension activities and various benefits being accrued to the society. It is my present duty to propose vote of thanks on behalf of the council. Member Secretary, sir, shall I propose vote of thanks? Any other item of business, sir?
Before that, shall we take one photo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let all the participants come into the screen.
I request all the participants to enable their video so that we can have a record for our participation.
Yama and Dr. Mahima, please take a photograph. I request some of the participants may come to open their screen.
Dr. Mahima?
Sir, actually, I am unable to.
Okay, there is some problem. Fine, madam. No problem.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, now you are.
Whatever possible way, let them take, or otherwise, no problem. Okay. Some technical issues there, I think.
My video is muted, sir.
எல்லா வீடியோவும் அன்மியூட் பண்ணி விட்டுருங்க. Administrator, please unmute all the videos. என்ன டைம் ஆகுமா?
ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் உங்களுக்கு எடுத்து தரேன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் சார் I am taking some screenshots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If the screen is moved, I can share the screenshot with you. I have some screenshots of when I see the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I will also share that later with you so that you can do editing on that.
Now, okay. Thank you.
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor.
Ramasamy, carry on.
But I need to come into the screen. Turn on to the screen. Yeah, please turn on to the screen. All of you, please come into the video.
Dear participants, wherever you are, please enable your audio video. We are trying to have a photograph.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, all the sessions are very good and it is very useful for us as well as all the youngsters. In forthcoming days also, we need some more sessions from Tamil Nadu Science and Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology. I'm requesting Member Secretary. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam, this is Ramaswamy here. On behalf of the council, I would like to inform that every month we are organizing a meeting, virtual meeting on different themes. This will go up to July 22. So it started in September 21. We have started celebration.
Yes, sir. I am attending all these sessions, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your interest, and we are looking forward to be more interactive with all the participants. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Okay. Shall we move on, sir?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, thank you all the participants for your kind presence. Now it is my pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology. We would like to propose thanks to all the presenters who have highlighted their institute contribution to the nation development and Atmanirbhar Bharat under the theme Science and Society. First and foremost, we would like to thank Dr. T. Ramasamy, former Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, for the inaugural address on Science and Society. It was a thought-provoking address highlighting the linkage between the science and society as well as science for the society. In fact, when we contacted the professor, he remarked that it should be science for society and not science and society. So whatever we do as a scientist and technologist, definitely it is for the society, and we are all working towards for the betterment and improving the life quality of the people of all the human community. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind presentation. And we would like to thank Dr. Vaidehi Vijay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal, for her presentation on contribution of Mother Teresa Women University for women development through education, research and extension activities being carried out by the university. And we would like to thank her for collaborating with the council in many of the programs in research and extension activities also. And particularly in PhD activity also, the university is extensively involved and collaborated with the council, and we will continue our collaboration with you, madam. We would like to thank Dr. Mangala Sundar Krishnan, Professor and Head Department of Chemistry, IIT Madras, Chennai, for a presentation on IIT Madras contribution to science and engineering online education to society. Professor was highlighting the various opportunities available and the courses online education availability and the materials that are extensively made and produced for the various sections of the society, particularly the student community, right from the school and up to colleges, even up to the postgraduate level. And we thank you very much, sir, for sharing all the information. And we would like to thank Dr. J. Venkat Prabhu, Director, Planning and Monitoring, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, for the presentation on social equity and inclusion, gender disparity, mainstreaming and equity in agricultural sector. As we all know, agriculture is an important activity which is the backbone of our society, which produces a lot of employment and livelihood opportunities. The contribution of TNAU towards enriching the livelihood of the women and particularly the rural sector is very much appreciated, and we are as usual we are collaborating with the university in many programs of the council. We will continue to do that, and we will work for more programs in future also, Professor. We would like to thank Dr. A.V. Om Prakash, Director, Center for Animal Protection Studies, Tamil Nadu Veterinary and Animal Sciences University, Chennai, for the presentation on contribution of Tanvas for science and societal development. Professor was highlighting various activities conducted by Tanvas for rural development, particularly through poultry and other sector. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind presentation. We have been collaborating with the professor and the university in various capacities for various programs. He has been helping us in many meetings and evaluations and monitoring and so many other aspects. We will continue to do that, and with the university also we will collaborate more and more for the benefit of the society at large and for the state in particular. And with this, I would like to thank all the people who have taken time off for attending this program, the officials, member secretaries, officers, scientific personnel, and other people from various state council for science and technology who have participated in this program. Particularly, we would like to thank Dr. Devapriya Datta, advisor DST, Dr. Rashmi Sharma, scientist of DST, Dr. Ravikant, scientist from DST, for their support and leadership. We would like to thank the participants, researchers, scientists, faculty, students from various colleges, universities who have participated enthusiastically in this program. We would like to thank our own colleagues. First of all, our member secretary, Dr. Srinivasan sir, for offering the welcome address and the opening remarks. Our member secretary has rightly pointed out the role played by the council in all the spheres of science and technology activities, right from research, extension and manpower development, and for the benefit of society. Very many programs are being operated by the council, and we will continue to come up with newer schemes and for the benefit of all the sections of the society. Thank you, sir, for your leading address for this program. I thank all the council staff who have worked tirelessly for making this program from behind the scene to make it as a success, and I thank one and all who have contributed in one way or other for this program. Thank you. And I think now the feedback sheet will come up for all the participants. Kindly give your feedback as to how the program was and where we need to improve, if at all, if there is anything to be improved. And we will meet as already informed once in a month on a specific date. That will be, information will be given in our council website, and you can register for the program and participate in the forthcoming programs also. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all.
Thank you all. Thank you all the
Thank you.
dignitaries and
Thank
thank you
you.
all the participants.
Have a good day, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hema, we are sending the feedback form.
Even somebody is not getting feedback form, please download from our website. Emma, please upload the feedback form in our website also. Let them download and send it to us. In turn, we will send the certificate, electronic certificate. Thank you.